Hello, my name is Tony Berard, and this video today is going to be on dice chess versus fighting chess. But before I do that, I'm going to spend a minute or two on my my web page here. Not my web page. This is my Amazon page. It's KDP, which stands for Kindle Direct Publishing.amazon.com. Blah blah blah. You can't get here. This is my login page, so you don't need to know that part because I had to log in to get here. This is what they call the dashboard, and these are my titles. I have Casa's Daughter, a fantasy, Casa's Daughter, a fantasy story. Well, view on Amazon. So, it's a drop-down menu. Here's US, but different regions. Like here's the United Kingdom. I think that's Denmark, France, Spain, Italy, Japan, CA. Don't know what that is. But anyway, I'm in the US, so I would click this one. And this will take you to the page where I have the book. This is Casa's Daughter. This is a fantasy story featuring new board games beyond chess. So I took their stock image of a chessboard and I put it on there. And so I have some blurb here about the story. But anyway, I created a new goddess called Syzygy, and she's Casa's daughter, and I give the whole rundown. I had a lot of fun writing this book, and Casa, or Syzygy, she creates board games, and the board games that she created are almost all of the ones that I created, except for dice chess, because I wrote this book before I created dice chess. Dice chess is brand new. So, but anyway, she created 6 board games in this book, and she promotes them in the universe. And it's a fun ride. Let's see if we can look inside here. They'll let you do it. So we scroll down. Copyright 2019, that was last year. So here you can see the first page of it. A fantasy story featuring new board games beyond chess by Tony Berard. Chapter 1, The Birth of Syzygy and her trilogy of amazing board games. So, Apollo and Dionysus, those are 2 Greek gods, were arguing one day over whether or not checkers or chess was better for mankind. That's my opening sentence of the story. And it goes on from there. The birth was coming very soon, so Hermes kissed Casa and was the last of the gods to go behind the sun. Luna, the moon goddess, asked Casa to let her know when she was ready, and she would drive her moon chariot in front of the sun, blocking out the sun completely. Casa gave her signal, and Luna brought on the total eclipse of the sun. All the other gods and goddesses were asked by Zeus to go behind the sun also. So there were no stars in the sky during the birth of Syzygy. Syzygy means an alignment of 3 or more celestial objects. So I used that word to name my new goddess. And Zeus named her in the novel. So anyway, the story goes on and on. After, well, they don't show very much. Anyway, that's me right there. Here's the ISBN if you need it. So it's 978-109-886-3913. So there it is. And oh, here, this is funny. The author shamelessly puts himself in the story to describe other necessary components of his work to create a complete gaming environment for the board game player. Yes, I am in the novel too. I'm not a god though. But I did create some more games like the Colors RSP deck of cards. That was created after this book was written also. So there will be a continuation of the story. Syzygy herself might have some children, and one of them might create this new deck of cards, and the other kid might create dice chess. I don't know what I'm going to do, but anyway, the story will go on, and it's going to be some time after where this one ends, and so I might turn myself into a god. We'll see. It would have to be done by Syzygy though, because I'm just a normal human in the story at this point, but a very smart one. So anyway, that's that book. I sold a book recently, and that's where is it? Here. I sold this one. View on Amazon, US. I sold this book in October. The Performance Rating Algorithm and Tournament App. A faster algorithm than the ELO rating system. Anthony Berard. Tony's my nickname. And so somebody bought this book. A regular person would not buy this book. This book is a pretty hardcore book. Most likely a computer scientist bought this book back in October. I just got paid for it a couple days ago. So I'm thinking my work on YouTube did it, because I've had this book up here for quite some time now, and I just now sold it recently, a copy. So I'm thinking, that it's my work on YouTube that's doing this for me. So, thank you, YouTube. Support is very nice. So, anyway, I have this book on here. Let's see what else. So this is my book on Tines and Barbs. You could get this book too. Tines and Barbs is an awesome game, even though Dice Chess handily beats it. But Tines and Barbs doesn't get to do most of what it can do. The shields and the wounding, that's a great part of the complexity of the game, and none of that even got used in this. But here's the cover of this book. Observe, I have the chess pieces here and the Tines and Barbs pieces here. And so you can see I published this book April 5th, 2011. So this has been on Amazon for quite some time. So I've had this idea of pitting the chess pieces against my board game for quite a while. And so for me to pit dice chess against chess, and now dice chess against Tines and Barbs, this is the Tines and Barbs side, this is the chess side. But actually, in the real game, it's going to be Tines and Barbs and Tines and Barbs, because that's the better game. Tines and Barbs is a better designed game than chess, and it's not much of a challenge for it to defeat the chess pieces. Well, it's also not much of a challenge for the dice chess pieces to beat the Tines and Barbs pieces, but the Tines and Barbs pieces don't get to put the shields down, and they don't get to fire the shots at the dice. So much of the power of Tines and Barbs is not even there, like I just said. So let's see. So you can get that book. It's $39.95 for this book. It's because it's got some color images in the book. I had no choice in that. Sorry about that. But The Casa's Daughter, this book is only $5.95. So if you want a really cheap book, you can get it here. Also, what is this? This is print on demand. I don't know what deals Amazon has with these other people, but there are no used books of this.
So, but this seller gets to sell my book and make a profit. You know, I wonder if somebody does buy this. You know, and it's used. Look at the price, $6.46. That's more expensive than my price. And 5 new from $5.95, which, why wouldn't you get it from me? Why would you get it from a reseller? Even though it's not a reseller. They'd have to print it for the reseller, too. So I don't know what kind of deals they got going on. But anyway, this is my book. And just showing you the price. You can see it's not been on here long. May 15th, 2019. Let's see what else we got. This is my math book. Here, points, lines, and conic sections. So, oh, that's the draft. And there's something about uploading, and I can't get rid of this either. But this is the actual version you'll see on there. View on Amazon, US. So if you want to get my math book, there it is. It's Points, Lines, and Conic Sections, a sequel to College Algebra. The conics are, you know, like parabolas. This fountain, you know, the spewing water is in the shape of a parabola. That's why I chose that image from their stock photos. But this is a hardcore book too. You know, it might show me some things. Let's have a look inside. See if you can. That's the table of contents. See if I can get to some graphs or something. Yeah, there you go. So here's a proof. You can see the algebra in there. So this is not an easy book. And I wrote all this. It took me 10 years to write this book. See, there's some formulas, square roots, inequalities, systems of equations, you know, and on and on and on and on and on and on it goes for like 300 pages. So if you're into math, you know, then you can get that book. It is a great book for math. It has some contributions to mathematics. So anyway, I'm going to sign out now. You can sign out and you can do a little survey, happy face, sad face. So I've never done that. I just sign out. So anyway, wanted to show you that. I sold a book. So Tony is happy. Alright, so now we're going to well, I'm going to pause the video and then okay, so today we're going to do fighting chess versus dice chess. So I have to explain a few things. Dice chess, you can move for 3 points, capture for 2 points, increment and decrement are 1 point each of the dice, these dice here, and each turn is 6 points except white's first turn is restricted to 3 points to balance the game. But the white dice are not going to be used right now, only the black dice. So black will begin his first turn and use 6 points because white will have already went. Alright, to move would mean you can move along any of the 8 directions like a queen can, up to the number of distances shown on the face of the die. So if the die is a 2, it can only move 2 units, up to 2 units. So it can move 1 unit or 2 units in any of the 8 directions. It can't go 3. That's beyond the bounds of it. If you had a 3, then it can go 3, but not more. And so you can move 2 dice. So if you have a 5 here and a 3 there, you can move the 3 to here and the 5 to here. Something like that. That would be a turn. That would be 2 moves, which is 6 points. Capturing is 2 more points. So let's say we have a knight here and a 3 here. If it's black's turn, black can move. It's 3 points to move and 2 points to actually occupy the square of capture. So that's 3 plus 2 is 5. So capturing is a 5-point turn. So you can't do another move with a capture. In regular dice chess, you can, let me put say we have a die here. A 3 is allowed to capture a 4. because of the power rankings. I've talked about that in another video. But in the interest of brevity, to get a game in, I'm just really going through this fast. So the 3 can capture the 4. So, and then the 4 gets removed. Then there's 1 point left. You might decrement for 1 more point. That would be 6 points. Alright. So that's the rules for dice chess. And the object of the game is to capture the king cube. But notice that the king cube, because it can do 2 moves, so the king cube can move diagonally and then this way. And so the king cube can move to any of the 25 squares within this, well, not counting the one he's on. He can move to any of the 24 squares that are available in this 5x5 ring around the king. So trying to checkmate this guy is really difficult. A queen is a minor piece against this guy. Alright. Dice chess, or fighting chess, the pawn can move up 1 or 2 as in normal chess, but the pawn can also capture straight ahead. So the pawn normally captures diagonally in chess. So if we have, like, say, a 3 and a 5 in the battle against dice chess, this pawn could capture either of these guys. And the pawn can also move straight ahead and not capture either of them. Let's say there was this there. This pawn can also capture straight ahead and capture that guy, if so desired. A fighting chess pawn is a little bit stronger than a regular chess pawn. Actually, it's a lot stronger because it can capture straight ahead. This guy cannot be blockaded. So Nimzovich's maxim of putting a knight in front of a pawn doesn't work with fighting chess because they capture straight ahead. They'll just capture the knight. Anyway, the regular pieces have been strengthened. They can move like kings in addition to their normal thing. So the bishop gets the diagonals as normal. All the rules of normal chess are applied except for the few things that I've changed. The bishop also can move like a king, so it gains these 4 squares. So if there's a opposing piece here, you can capture onto it, because now capturing 1 square in any direction is legal for the bishop. So now the bishop becomes a dark squared bishop. Alright. Likewise, the rook also gains the ability to move like a king. So the rook gains these 4 diagonal squares. So if there is a opposing piece here, the rook can capture it. What the rook cannot do is capture 2 squares diagonally. That's too far away. It can only go 1 square diagonally. Same thing with the bishop. It can only go 1 square orthogonally. Alright. The knight gains the most from these rules by gaining the ability to move like a king. So the knight normally gets these 8 squares. Here and here. But it also gains the ability to move like a king, so it gains these 8 squares as well. So the knight has 16 squares that it can move to and capture to. So if we have these 2 pieces here, the knight can capture this 6, or the knight can capture this 2, just like so.
Stalemate has been removed from fighting chess because the stalemate rule is built upon 2 lower level rules in chess. One is that you must move a piece. So in fighting chess, you have the option of moving or not moving. You can pass if you don't want to move. That alone gets rid of stalemate. But also there's been one other change. In regular chess, the king is inviolate. That creates a really ridiculous situation in that the you cannot capture the king because it's inviolate. That is a crazy, crazy rule. So the object of the game in chess is not to capture the king. Oddly enough, even though you might think it is. That's not the object. The object is checkmate, which is a threat to capture the king. And so the threat to capture the king, though, can never be carried out. The game ends at checkmate. It's a
In my opinion, it's a bastardization of the rules, and it stems from making the king inviolate. So in fighting chess, I got rid of that. The king is no longer inviolate, and the object of the game is not to checkmate the king. Although if you do achieve checkmate, that ends the game. The object of the game is to capture the king. So you can either capture the king, or you can get a checkmate. So there's that. Since the king is no longer inviolate, the castling rules have changed also. You can now castle while you're in check. You can castle across the check, and you can castle into check if you want. Of course, your opponent's going to capture your king, but it's not illegal. In chess, you cannot capture or you cannot castle into check. That's illegal. You have to put it back. So, because the king is inviolate, it's like the rules just are repelled from, causing that eventuality. So, anyway, in fighting chess, that nonsense has been removed. So, some normality has been achieved, actually, because now the object of the game is to capture the king, which makes perfect sense. And the king can be captured. It's not crazy anymore. All right. So, I'm going to pause the video again, and we'll get this game going. It'll be quick. Okay, so the game will now begin. All right, white gets to go first. This is fighting chess versus dice chess. All right, so we'll do the time-honored pawn to king 4. So dice chess will respond with pawn to king 5, or 2 to king 5, and 2, well, there's more than a 2 that can get here, but we're going to do this. You can visually see it. These two guys come up. So now they're attacking this pawn. But since this is fighting chess, the chess pawn will capture straight ahead. And then this guy will capture this way. So far, so good. Well, we can't do that, so we'll just do that. Now, we'll advance 2 guys. Let's see. We shall, I guess, bring the bishop to here. And then well, there's more attacks here, so I can't just crash into the king. Let's see. Well, let's do some more. Let's just 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Just bring some guys in. Well, we'll do that to there. All right. Then we'll bring the knight out. Now it's black's turn. 1, 2, I guess, and 2. Observe that black is not concerned about the king's safety. Alright, we'll say the knight takes the 4. Then the 6 will capture the knight. Let's see. So we'll bring the knight to here. No, it's, I'm bringing a lot of firepower in here. Alright, so now it's white's turn. Now it's black's turn. Let's see. I guess we'll do that and that. Now it's white's turn. I guess we'll capture here. Black's turn. Black will capture. White's turn. I got the rook. Guess we'll put the bishop here. Black's turn. I guess black will take the bishop. See, there's a lot more turns going on here. But white's not totally busted yet, like in chess or the other versions. So Dice Chess is doing better. So what else we got? Now it's Black's turn. I guess we'll put the 3 here, and we'll do that. So I guess we'll castle. At least the castle got done. Alright, so this pileup was occurring here, but there's so many defenses that white has. But we'll go ahead and crash through, just see how things go. So there's that. Guess we'll take with the knight first. And black will capture with the knight with this 3. And then with the rook. And then what? Guess we'll bring the 2 down and then bring this 2 over. So 2 attacks, 2 defenses. So the rook is pinned. Now it's white's turn. Well, we don't want to lose the queen. I guess we have to take the 2. So if I swing the rook over, it's going to take the queen. And the queen is the most important piece here, so I guess we'll take it with the rook. And white's running out of pieces. But still, it took all the way till this to get that to happen. And we'll take there. Check. And the queen is forked. So I have to take with the queen. Otherwise we just lose it. It's a 2. So check. This will come to the corner. Guess the 6 will capture the bishop. Check. Capture. There's only a rook left. Look at all the power that's still left in Dice Chess. So now it's black's turn. So we're going to bring this up to here. Check. Oh, it's almost checkmate. And there it is. Checkmate. No, it's not checkmate. It's almost checkmate. There's still 1 flight square. There. Now it's checkmate. Alright, well, fighting chess clearly did a lot better than chess, Fischer 960. It even did better than Tines and Barbs. It lasted quite long. There's only a few pieces left. And it was just the stuff that I thought of off the top of my head, obviously. So, again, I'm very appreciative of the support. You can get Dice Chess at www.thegamecrafter.com. And you can put in a search, Dice Chess. And you can find the game. You could also look for my other games. I have Pythagorean Tic-Tac-Toe on there. I have Go 12 on there. And Fighting Checkers. I don't have Fighting Chess because they don't make chess pieces. So, and you can also get the Colors RSP deck of cards. And I have some PDF files of some different games on there. I have 3 solitaire games. I've got videos all on there. Good stuff.
So, that concludes this video. Again, thank you for the support. I have sold a couple books recently, and I believe it's because of my efforts on YouTube. So I'm going to reduce my Facebook footprint, my Quora footprint, my Twitter footprint. No, I recently started up Twitter. It possibly could be due to Twitter. I don't know. So, so Twitter, I'll up my efforts with Twitter and YouTube, because it looks like I'm finally starting to get some response. Support is good. My products are very good. And, you know, Stephen King, he doesn't write, you know, for you not to buy his books. Of course, he wants you to buy his books. I mean, the guy's a multi-millionaire. And he got that way by selling millions of books. Of course he wants you to buy his books. And I want you to buy my board games. I want you to buy my books. I'm not any different than any of these other creative people in that regard. I want you to buy my work. Plain and simple. The only question is, you know, is my work good enough? The answer is, of course it is. I showed you some examples of it on the webpage there. You can see the... I'm a bright guy, and my stuff is worth your time. Just like Stephen King's is. So, anyway, on that note, this is Tony Berard signing off.